Okay, delighted to say that Ben Thatcher, drummer with Royal Blood, is with us. Their new album, Typhoons, is out now. It has gone straight to number one. Just another number one, Ben. It's every single album at this point seems to go top of the charts in the UK and in Ireland.
I know, it's incredible, and we thank all of our fans for helping us out and buying the record. Yeah, it's incredible.
I assume that for the first two albums, you're touring when you go to number one. You're on the road, and this scenario now must be very different, where all your entire success is almost based on whether or not the album is selling, rather than seeing a live crowd right in front of you.
Yeah, I mean, it's strange not to release any music without doing shows and in stores and stuff like that, because that's normally things that help promote the record. But you know, we've got to play by the rules here and just wait for gigs to come back and all that. Yeah, we're just kind of holding tight and trying to rehearse little bits because we do have plans to play some shows this summer, and yeah, we just hope that it all goes through.
Could you talk us through a little bit of the collaboration that went into this album? I mean, Paul Epworth and Josh Homme obviously have been two of the names that we've seen even through social media that have been involved in the production of this album. When did that decision come? When did you make that decision, and how much of a thought was behind that?
Well, when we came off the road, we were touring with Queens of the Stone Age back in 2019, and we got to know Josh really well, and we're a massive fan of his production and his writing and his band, obviously, and him. And we thought it'd be a great idea to go in together and try and record some bits. We didn't really have anything apart from the song Boilermaker, which was we had a rough sketch of, and then we had the song King and a song called Space that are on the deluxe version of the record. But yeah, we didn't really know what we were doing. We just thought we'd go and see what it was like to work with Josh, and we had just such a great time with him. We recorded it in his studio in Burbank, and we spent a couple of weeks there, and yeah, just to see how he worked and how he pushed us to do things that we would normally do, and he arranged Boilermaker in a way that we never thought of, and so yeah, that was the beginning of that, and that we kind of parked that session and did a lot more writing, did some more touring, and yeah, kind of just working out what our next move was. And so we went into a few studios, one of them being The Church, which is Paul Epworth's studio, and just did a writing session with him there, and came out with a couple of tunes that he produced on. And then we kind of came out of that studio session still not really knowing what we wanted to do or where we wanted to record the album. And so, but we kind of had the confidence and the knowledge of doing it ourselves at this stage, and decided to self-produce. And that's where the rest of the album came from, is another couple of studios with us kind of taking the reins.
What's the biggest thing you learned from working with someone like Josh Homme, and even touring with him, as you say, at the end of 2019?
Yeah, I mean, watching Queens is like a masterclass. They're the most insane musicians, and so talented. I guess what we learned was to be real comfortable in our own shoes, and what we did was unique because it was what it was only me and Mike doing it, and to kind of just trust ourselves a little bit more, and give ourselves a pat on the back when we were doing things that were really cool.
That's really interesting, because to me, listening to that after a couple of really successful albums, it might seem obscene that someone would maybe not believe fully in themselves. But have there been moments after album 2 where maybe you start questioning the direction or questioning certain elements of what you're doing?
Yeah, I mean, it's more of a we grow as human beings, and our band's music evolves with us, and so we're not wanting to go back and write another Royal Blood one. We want to progress and try some new things and break some of the rules that we've set upon ourselves. You know, the first couple of records were mainly just bass and drums and vocal, and then the second one had a little bit more like backing vocals, and there was a song that had keys on it. And this one, we felt like we just wanted to break those rules and venture out a bit and explore the studio and what we could do there. And Josh kind of gave us the confidence, I guess, and to use the studio as a playground and not to worry so much about playing all these different parts and just having a bit more fun with it, really.
Yeah, well, it's paid off handsomely, to say the least. I remember seeing you guys in the Academy after your first album, so 2014-15 at this point in Dublin. And I think within 2-3 years, you guys had then played the Three Arena. It was almost in Dublin terms like a great yardstick for how successful a band had gone over those few years. It is so often said about these bands that the difficult second album can be a real tricky point for a lot of bands. Was that almost as satisfying as getting over the line in the first place, the fact that you'd managed to make that step up and arrive on a higher plane almost with bigger crowds?
Yeah, I mean, the writing of the second record, we put a lot of pressure on ourselves, and yeah, with the success of the first one, it took us on a ride that we never expected. So we wanted to then push ourselves to go further and play bigger places and eventually become hopefully like a festival headline band. And so yeah, we're always pushing to be better and to be more creative and to put on great shows.
What is the yardstick then for this album? Is it simply, given you can't play too many live shows at the moment, is it simply album sales at the moment, or how do you measure your success?
We measure it by, I mean, we won on the day that we had finished our record, and we just had it to ourselves because we were so proud of what we had created and how far we pushed ourselves to do something that sounded like Royal Blood, but a different version of Royal Blood, and having these other elements of musicality come in together. And yeah, so we measure our success by how proud we are with what we've done. Then the rest is out of our hands, you know. The rest is down to fans and our record company and promotions team and doing things like this, interviews and magazine shoots and all of that lot, just to tell the world that we have a record coming out. And then after that, the numbers thing is you know, down to all of that. So, but you know, I will never downplay that we're so happy to have a number one record again, and the feedback has been amazing from our fans. And yeah, it's just it's a strange feeling now because we're like, well, it's, you know, the record is at number one now. It's gonna, you know, Rag and Bone Man or someone's gonna get it tomorrow or whatever, because you pass on the baton. But yeah, it's like, what next? And it's normally gigs, so we're just kind of waiting to be able to do those things.
The festival season looks like it might happen in the UK this year, right?
We've got 3 festival dates. But yeah, you got to take every day as it comes, don't you? And who knows? We've got a lot of plans in the diary for a lot of things for the rest of the year. But yeah, just take one step at a time.
We are unbelievably jealous over here that even the chance of a festival in the UK is looking like a possibility. Like, I'm also interested in chatting to you a little bit about football, Ben, because I'm not sure people realise, there's a lot of people in Ireland probably don't realise that you guys are sponsors of Rustington FC. Now, not a lot of people will have heard of Rustington FC. Talk to us about this.
Rustington Football Club is based in a little village where I grew up in, and there was a recreation ground at the end of my road where Rustington Football Club is based. And because I grew up there, I used to always go down and watch the games. It was like a Sunday league type game vibe, and one of the guys from the club got in touch with me asking about putting Royal Blood as the sponsor, and we made it work out, and it was just a bit of fun, really. But yeah, they have got a great kit. I have one here somewhere, but can't see it. But it's a great kit.
Yeah, I looked it up online. It is absolutely gorgeous. Your band's font just fits perfectly. I mean, even if you lived a million miles away from this club, it was just perfect, just for the jersey alone.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's it.
So this was the local Sunday League team where you were. Did you play underage football in and around Rustington at all?
I did. I was never great, but I was kind of brought up with that being the only thing to do around the village. So and I love football. I support Brighton and Hove Albion. I go to the games. I'm actually lucky enough to go to the game against Manchester City on Wednesday, which is the first game back. Class. So I'm very excited about that. Actually, it's Tuesday, not Wednesday.
Brilliant. That's like that really is the golden ticket right there. Like when it came to Rustington, like you obviously said that they came to you, and without much thought, you're like, yeah, let's do this. And it's obviously been a subject of great conversation over the last month or so in the aftermath of the Super League, the contribution that these clubs make to every single community. Like, I presume that was the case growing up, that you didn't even need the Super League to remind you of how poignant a club like that can be to the hundreds of people in the locality who go to their games and support the team.
Absolutely, yeah. It's yeah. I mean, it just took the piss a little bit, didn't it? With what football means to not only our country but the rest of the world. You know, we have such a great league, and to throw that all away for money and with no competitive motion in it is ridiculous. Yeah,
it really was. Like, it's interesting as well when we think about these link-ups between football clubs and musicians. It's starting to happen a little bit more. Like, I know in Dublin, Fontaines DC and Bohemians have hooked up, and they've got a refugees welcome sign on the front of their jersey, which is just fantastic. It's absolutely brilliant. And like, I wonder sometimes if artists actually just have a greater appreciation of their social values and can actually contribute with the money that they do have on that level.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's a lot bands do, not only to do with football, but to do it, you know, in schools and all sorts, you know, raising money for musical equipment or anything like that. But yeah, I mean, the sponsor thing on the shirt was just a bit of fun, really, for us in the club, and it's got them a little bit of press and a little spotlight on that club. You mean, did you ever think of talking about Rustington Football Club ever, you know, to anyone? And there's, you know, I'm talking about it right now, which is ridiculous.
How are they doing? What sort of a season are they having?
I have no idea, to be honest with you. I've had a lot on my a lot of things on my table recently to sort out. So
yeah, there's been a bit of work on your plate recently, to say the least. Brighton, though, they've very much stayed up. I mean, it's been a mad season for Brighton. The XG Kings, they became known, obviously, for creating so many chances, not being able to put them away. Does that mean next season they're going to qualify for the Champions League, or how do you read that?
No, we're not going to. Hopefully, we'll end up mid-table next year, bit more secure, scoring. I mean, we've played some amazing football. We just haven't scored any goals. Or if we have, it's been a 1-0 and we're just holding on. But it's nice to have these 3 games to kind of reset a little bit and relax. But yeah, hopefully next season we can get some more points.
And for you, is the football year just getting started? Are you going to be head over heels for England once the Euros begin?
Oh yeah, can't wait for that. I mean, the Euros is just so much fun anyway, isn't it? It's like as soon as football stops, you just don't tell your girlfriend that the Euros is on, because like you're getting so buzzed about it. And then yeah, Euros is such a good time, though, isn't it? Get in the sunshine, watch the games, drink some beers, watch England lose.
Yeah, well, that's like, I mean, we'll all just be hate watching England here in Ireland for the few weeks. That's going to be ours, because we don't have a team of our own to support. So what's next for the band then over the next little while? I guess it's very hard to put your finger on when exactly things click into gear, but do you have loose plans?
Yeah, we've got loose plans just to play some festivals, and we're going to hopefully evolve and do some shows at some point with that. But again, we'll just have to see. At the moment, we've only got these festivals in and just a little bit of time off. But we have a studio now in Brighton where we hang out and we can go and make some more music. So we'll be keeping ourselves busy.
Nice one. Good to have that on the doorstep. Ben, congratulations on yet another unbelievable record and another great piece of success for Royal Blood. Best of luck with everything this summer, and hopefully we'll see you in Ireland again soon.
Amazing. Thank you very much.